Hey y'all, Emery here, and this video is going to be about mini multi-tools. I want to thank you for checking in on my channel. I hope you enjoy this, get some value out of this video, and check out all my other videos. Thank you for subscribing if you've done so. If not, please do that. Why would somebody carry a mini multi-tool? Well, this is the Victorinox Classic, and from what I understand, it is Victorinox's best-selling pocket knife. These are virtually ubiquitous. You see them everywhere, all kind of stores. You see them for sale, usually for about $12 to $15. This is just the classic red version. There's all kind of different patterns. They come out with different designs every year. There's a reason, because people are buying these things like crazy. And so Victorinox continues to support that demand. But why? For some people, this is the only pocket knife they want to carry. Something very simple, very small, not going to intimidate anyone. I've actually heard of people through hiking the Appalachian Trail with nothing but a Victorinox Classic. I don't understand those people, but then again, I'll never through hike the Appalachian Trail. So, but for most people, I think the reason to carry this would be the same reason that I carry something like this, just as a backup. I am always going to have a folder on me. Right now, of course, it's my Benchmade bug out, but I'm also going to have my Leatherman Juice CS4 virtually all the time. I would like to switch over and carry something like my Victorinox Fieldmaster, but without having the pliers and the mini screwdriver on there and not having an inline Phillips driver, I just can't bring myself to do that and leave my juice at home for right now. I'm working on that. But I'm always going to have something like that. So why do I need another mini multi-tool? Well, the reason is just as a backup. From time to time, I forget my multi-tool. I'm human, just like all of us, and I forget my multi-tool. Well, if I've got my keys on me, I have a multi-tool. That's the Leatherman style. We'll talk more about that in a minute. That way, I've always got something. Whether you're an EDCer or just now starting to get into the idea of carrying a knife or a multi-tool or whatever, I think you'll be interested in this topic. Now, what's out there? There are a lot of different mini multi-tools, and I certainly don't have them all. The Gerber Dime is one of the most popular. I don't have one of those. There are lots of videos on that. Maybe I'll get one sometime and talk about it. And there's lots of other ones as well. But I have a few of them, and I can give you some insight into what's out there, why you might pick one thing over another. So I want to begin. Well, we'll just go ahead and start with the one that I showed you, the Victorinox Classic. What does it have on it? Well, first of all, you can see it's very small. I don't have the details in front of me, around 2.5 inches or so. You have a tiny little blade. And on this side, you have a pair of scissors, little bitty scissors there. And of course, you have, as most Victorinox Swiss Army knives do, a pair of tweezers, as well as a toothpick. And then what sets this tool apart from the regular Classic, this is the Classic SD. The regular Classic, you have this fingernail file, and then you have a fingernail cleaner up here. But this one has a screwdriver tip, thus the SD designation, and I find that to be more useful. That little tip can be used for flat or Phillips head screwdrivers. Of course, you're not going to put a lot of torque on that, but if you just need to tighten something up, or even, I wouldn't say as a pry bar, but you know, popping staples out or something like that, it can do the job. So you've got several functions in this little tool that's extremely lightweight, extremely small. And like I said, that's one that a lot of people choose to carry. This is one that's kind of unique. I was actually at a thrift store the other day and found a 2-pack of these, a red one and a black one, for $8. So I had to jump on it. It's exactly the same as the Classic, but this one's called the Rally. And the difference is, instead of scissors, it has this little tool here that has a bottle opener, wire stripper, and a little Phillips head screwdriver on there. So I thought that was kind of neat. So that's a different option for you. Now, the tool that I mentioned that I carry on my key ring is the Leatherman Style. The Style CS is very popular, and I've got one of those. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But I wanted a style, and I'll show you why here in a minute. But let's start just with the tool. you can see that it's very comparable in size to the Classic. It is maybe slightly longer. It's a little thicker. It's about the same width. And this weighs a little bit more, but in my opinion, it's built better. You have a blade of 154 cm steel. I believe I'm correct on that. And it's a little more substantial blade. It's a little thicker than the one on the Classic there. And I think it has a better profile there, kind of almost a drop point type blade on there. Now let's be honest, what are we using these for? We're opening letters, opening boxes, cutting some string, nothing very strenuous. It's not a lock back. It is a slip joint, but it has some good hold on there. It holds it up open very well. You also have on the other side your file, and this also has a screwdriver tip. It's not quite as defined as the one on the Classic, but it still does the job. And then you also have a pair of scissors on this as well. And these scissors are about the same size as those, but I just feel like they're a little sturdier. So both of these are very small scissors. You're not going to get a lot of work done with these, but you obviously are not going to expect very much out of a tool of this size. The other thing is it does have a pair of tweezers. They kind of fit in a little slot down there. I've actually seen people own one of these and not know for a long time that the tweezers are in there. Leatherman does a good job of kind of packing those down in there. So you've got a good pair of tweezers. Now it doesn't have a toothpick, but I use my blade for a toothpick anyway, so don't tell my wife. And you have the keyring attachment as well. That's the Leatherman Style. Now the Leatherman Style CS, and by the way, this is what I carry in my pockets just around the house. I've got a little flashlight on here. That's just a little Rayovac AA flashlight. And the Leatherman Style CS, as well as this, always have a knife, multi-tool, and a light, even when I'm just around the house. But the Style CS is very similar to the Style, but as you can see, it's twice the size, and the reason is because you open it up like any other Leatherman, and you have a pair of scissors in there, a much larger pair of scissors. The blade and the file are exactly the same as on that, as well as the tweezers. They're in a little bit different place, a little bit easier to get to. But the other difference, of course, is you have this carabiner clip. And that, I think, works as a bottle opener. I don't drink anything that comes in a bottle, so I don't know. But anyway, you have a carabiner clip right there. The reason that I chose to carry this, this is the third one of these that I've had. I lost the first two because the carabiner clip kept getting open on my key ring and falling off, and I lost two of them. My solution for a little while was to put a piece of tape around there, and that worked. But anytime you had to get it off, you had to break the tape or rip it off and use it, and then it, you didn't want to take the time to put it back on. And so I went with this. The blade, the screwdriver, the file, the tweezers are all the same size. They both have scissors, but these have smaller scissors. But honestly, as small a task as you are using for scissors this size, it's not that big a deal that you have a much larger size compared to a smaller size. So that's why I went with this. However, the purpose of this video is to show you what's out there. You make your own decision. What are some other options? Well, here's one that's been around for a very long time. It is the Leatherman Micra. Hey y'all, I'm back. Sorry about that. Got a phone call, had to take it, but that's all right. What I was saying was the Leatherman Micra has been around for a long time. It may be hard to find. You can probably on eBay or whatever find one, but they don't sell these anymore. But solid stainless steel. You open it up and there's your pliers in there. All the tools are only accessible from the inside. You got these tweezers on there. Kind of an interesting design there. And then you've got this Phillips head screwdriver, and it actually says 4 Phillips on there, so you don't make the mistake of wondering what that's for. And then you've got this little bottle opener, but right up here is a mini flathead screwdriver, and believe it or not, that is extremely useful. That's one of the reasons I carry a Leatherman Juice CS4 instead of my Victorinox, because I have found times that I need that tiny screwdriver, and that's the only thing that will work. So that's a very useful tool. On the other side here, we have our blade, And this is an older tool, so I'm not sure what type of steel they were using at the time on there. But honestly, for a blade that size, does the steel really make that big of a difference? Then you've got a fingernail file, fingernail cleaner, and a flathead screwdriver. If I can get it out here, there we go. Flathead screwdriver. So this is a great tool set. You've got your blade, your flathead screwdriver, your Phillips head screwdriver, tweezers, scissors. That's a great tool set there. But it's obviously larger than either the classic or the style. So, you know, are you willing to carry something a little bit bigger and heavier on your key ring? My thought is this is a backup. I'm already carrying a fairly heavy multi-tool in my pocket or on a pouch. I don't want to carry a heavier one on my, or a heavy one on my key ring as well. So I don't usually carry that one. Here's another option. This is the Leatherman Squirt PS4. And by the way, shout out to Sackman Dave Boyd on Facebook. He goes to the store that gets TSA confiscated knives and multi-tools and sells them really cheap. He buys a bunch of them, goes on Facebook and sells those, and that's where I've gotten a lot of these and get great deals. They're great deals, excellent tools on there. So I thank him, and I think I did. I got this from him as well. With this one, you have a blade. You can see this one opens from the outside, so you don't have to open the tool. You also have this file on here, which is not just a fingernail file. This is an actual file. And you can see you've got one grit over here, and then over here it's kind of a cross cut. And the edge there is also, does also have the file, so you can notch with that. And then of course this can be used as a flathead screwdriver, maybe a very light duty pry bar, something like that. On the other side here, you've got scissors. So that's cool. And then you've got your regular flathead screwdriver, which is also a bottle opener, and your Phillips head screwdriver. You can see that. But then, of course, you open this up and you have pliers. Yeah, this is the first tool we've seen today that has pliers, kind of a needle nose pliers, regular plus wire cutters in there, and these are Leatherman pliers. They're not as big as on the Juice or on a full-size multi-tool, but you know, you've got them on there. Now, this doesn't have the mini screwdriver, which is very useful, but it does have pliers, and pliers are very useful. So to me, this would be more useful than, say, the Style or the Style CS, because it has everything this has other than the tweezers. But, you know, theoretically, you could use the pliers as tweezers to a degree. But pliers are very useful. However, how much work are you going to get done with a plier set that small? Yeah, you can get some, you can tighten some bolts and things like that, but I've got pliers on here. Remember, I'm not trying to completely replace my multi-tool with this. It's just a backup. So to me, it's just important to have a few important tools, a blade, a pair of scissors, a screwdriver. If it has those three, that's the most important tools in a small little multi-tool like that. The other things are nice, but if they make it heavier or larger, then that kind of defeats the purpose. So that's why I've gone with the Leatherman Style, and I've enjoyed that. They have other colors as well. There's one in red, lots of different colors. You know, I really recommend that you go out, check out these multi-tools. There's lots of different ones out there, and I think you'll find something that fits your needs. Maybe you say, I don't need all that. I'm carrying a Swiss Army knife or a multi-tool. Fine, no problem. But it's just something to have an extra. You've heard the old phrase, 2 is 1, 1 is none. So maybe you do have your multi-tool, but you lose it, it breaks, whatever, and you just need something. Now, I understand whatever situation one of these tiny little tools is going to get you out of is probably not dire enough that it's life or death. But then again, it's just good to have one on there. And hey, here's the other thing about EDC. A lot of it, let's be honest, just comes down to it's fun. We like to carry these things. We enjoy these things. And so if you enjoy it, there you go. Again, I talk about freedom on this channel. The freedom that we find in Christ, freedom from sin, but also the freedom we enjoy in America, the greatest country in the world. and the freedom to just enjoy the blessings of God. Carry what you want to. Enjoy it. Don't worry. If people look at you and say, man, that guy's crazy. Look at all the knives he carries and all that. Don't worry about them. Obviously, obey the law, whatever your laws are there. If your laws don't allow you to carry a folding, locking knife, move. No, I'm just saying you don't have to move. If the Lord wants you to be where you are, you stay there, but obey the laws. But I thank God I live in Georgia, and we're pretty free here. We still have to get a license to carry a gun, which I don't think we should have to. Constitution gives us that right. But anyway, we're fairly free. I can carry pretty much what I want to. So just do what you enjoy. Thank you again for checking out my channel. I've got more to come, and let me know what multi-tools, mini multi-tools do you carry? Why do you carry them? Have you never thought about it before? Is this the first time maybe you've considered carrying one? Tell me your experiences in those. More videos to come. I'm planning on doing some testing videos out there. I'm not going to destroy any of my knives or multi-tools, but I'm going to test them and let you see how they work out and everything. So more to come, but we'll see you soon. Until then, God bless and War Eagle.